Today we're going to take a look at Beyond Micro SATA external hard drive. Now today most of our life is digital. It's online in the form of pictures, movies, music, documents. I mean, everything that we do now is in the computer. Well, it's time to get those files out of the computer and put them onto a nice 500 gigabyte external hard disk. Now, you know what I like about this drive, other than the fact that it's massive, it's 500 gigabytes, you're going to be able to store all kinds of stuff on this. Well, it's USB 2.0, which gives you 480 megabits per second of data transfer, but it's also external SATA. That's eSATA, and that gives you 3 megabits per second. That's as fast as your internal hard drive. So in theory, you can plug this up to your eSATA port on your computer, and you're going to be able to install games on this. You're going to be able to install content on this. You could even install an operating system on this, Randy. You could even install your OS on this because it's fast enough. eSATA is really fast, just like I said, just as fast as your internal hard drives. So what can you store with 500 gigabytes? Well, you could store how many movies? 212 DVD quality movies, 750 hours of VHS tapes. So if you want to back up your entire library of all your VHS file tapes, all the tapes, kids growing up and everything, you can back up all those. I don't think I know anybody who has 750 hours of VHS tapes, but except maybe if you're a TV studio or something like that. Now MP3s, over 400 days worth of continuous audio playing around the clock. So you got a year free, Randy?
No.
Well, you know what? I might just try this because I love music. You can let it play over and over and over for over 400 days. So that's a lot of music. This thing can store a lot of info. Now, as far as JPEGs go, well, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. To be exact, 186,000 plus medium quality JPEGs. Now, another thing. If you don't have eSATA on the back of your computer, well, there's no worries at all because they've actually included a bracket so that you can install eSATA on your machine. Now, this will go on the back of your machine, and it just plugs into any of the standard SATA ports on your machine. So you plug this in, and then you install the bracket, and voila, you have eSATA, no problem at all. And something else, they've even included the eSATA and the USB cable. This is the eSATA cable. This is a little different than a standard SATA cable. I found this out the hard way and I was trying to plug it up the other day. But you just plug this into the back and then plug that into the eSATA bracket that I showed you just now. And there you go, 3.0 gigabits per second of data transfer. Now let's talk about backup for a minute because everybody needs to back up their files, and that's something that's very important, and we don't want you to learn the hard way. You need to make backups of your files. Like I said, your life is on the computer. Now, there's some very cool tools that you can use to back up these files right in Windows. Now, Windows Vista has a very cool backup program. It lets you go in there and select the types of files you want to back up, and then it'll detect this as an external source. It'll see this hard drive and say, like, oh, we found a backup source. So that's very easy. It's a free way to do it. Also, if you wanted to have a little more control, you can download something called the Sync Toy. Just type Sync Toy into Google, and it'll bring up Microsoft's free Sync Toy. It's a Microsoft developed program. It allows you to set up locations on your hard drive, like a folder or something like that, and it'll sync it up with this device. It'll resync it every time you add more data, or every time you plug it in, it'll check and say like, oh, let's go ahead and synchronize this data. So that way it always stays up to date. Now, Randy was telling me he uses Windows Live Care, and that'll give you a little red blinking light. So if you're someone who uses Live Care, it'll give you a little blinking light and say, hey, you need to back up, and it will detect this as a source to back up. So stay backed up with one of these drives. 500 gigabytes is going to give you a lot of storage. Now let's take a tour of the product. You can see that it's on a stand there. If you don't want to put it on the stand, well, you know what? It comes right out of the stand. You can lay it down. You can hide it behind the couch if you want to, as long as the cat doesn't get choked on the wire. All right, looking at the back of the unit here, you can plug up your power cable right there. There's the USB 2.0, and like I said, it comes with the cable in the box, so that's very handy. Now right here, on and off for the fan. So yes, there is a fan to keep things nice and cool on the inside here, and that's to ensure long life for the hard drive. If you're watching a movie and you hear the fan a little bit, it does give you the option to turn it off. I'd recommend leaving it on. It's very quiet, so not much to worry about there, and it's going to, like I said, going to keep it nice and cool. And there is the eSATA port right there. So that's what's going on in the back. Now around in the front, if you're not using the hard drive, you can turn it on or you can turn it off right on the front. So like I said, if you're not using it at all, just go ahead and turn it off and save the power. It barely uses any power, but some of you guys out there are green. You want to make sure that when you're not using it, it is turned off. They also have some very cool products online. This is the 500 gig. There's several different flavors online. You can pick the color that matches you best. There's a black one as well, and there's several different sizes. I've given you the specs for the 500 gigabyte version. We also have the 2.5-inch version of the external drive. It's really very portable because of the size. It's also a very sleek unit. This is USB 2.0, and let me show you something. Take this here. It'll fit right into your pocket. There it is. It's about the size of a pocket protector, but you're not going to need a pocket protector. You don't need pins anymore because all your information is right here on the 2.5-inch external drive. Now, what can you hold on this? Well, 16,000 plus songs, 24,000 plus JPEGs, and also about 26 DVD quality movies. Or if you're using Vongo, one of the download services, you're going to be able to fit 40 to 50 of those movies on here. So you're going to be able to keep a lot of files on this as well. And since it's an external USB 2.0 drive, those Vista, the Sync Toy, and also all the different Vista backup programs, and even the XP backup programs, they're going to recognize this drive as a backup source. Now, we know that these say on the box it says made for Macintosh OS 9 Plus. It also says made for Windows XP 2098 SE. Well, it does work with Vista as well because Vista will recognize this USB 2.0 device, and it'll have no problem at all working with Vista. Just because it doesn't say on the box, we know that it does work with Vista. So we're going to certify that right now. If you guys have any questions about the Beyond Micro hard drives here at Tiger Direct, go ahead and send me an email, logan@tiger.tv. I will see you next time. For more information on these great external solutions from Beyond Micro, go to Tiger Direct and type Beyond Micro Mobile into the search box, or you can always call us, 800-800-8300.